Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to the Cabin Fever podcast. I have no sound, guys. Hopefully you're having a great day. We're having gremlins like crazy here. I hope that wherever you are, the gremlins are not crawling around with you. Anyway, I hope that wherever you are, you've had a safe weekend. I know here in Orlando, we had a crazy weekend because not only is, the country in a state of unrest, but then we had some crazy weather come in, and there were tornadoes on the ground in Orlando and all kinds of stuff. And so, anyway, I just pray that you're having a great week wherever you are and a great start to the week. We have a great show planned for you today. It's a great day to be alive, and it is Monday, June the 8th, and as we prepare to get into the show today, today's a really special day because today is the day that Jody and I celebrate 21 years of marriage. 21 years ago today, actually, and if you want to take a step further, 23 years ago today was the day Jody and I met. We met on the campus of Rhema Bible Training Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Rhema Bible Church, and we met after a youth service on a Wednesday night, and we went to Chili's. It was not really a date. It was almost like kind of getting to know one another, and we went to eat, and we closed the restaurant, sitting there talking for a long time, and then 2 years later to the day, and we didn't even plan that, it just happened. 2 years later to the day, Jody and I got married, and as you can see by the pictures there, Jody was demon-possessed that day, with her red glowing eyes. I think are you gonna be able to talk to me? There she is. And so Jody, happy anniversary first of all.
Happy anniversary to you, babe.
21 years ago today. 23 years ago that we met.
Yep.
On that day, I'm just going to ask you, besides the actual nuptials and walking down the aisle, and I wish you could see her, but she's sitting directly in front of me right now. What is your most memorable moment from that day?
From that day, gosh, it was so long ago.
And maybe I should say from the ceremony, because the ceremony, or not from the ceremony, but from the actual event, because I'm sure the day. We could talk about all kinds of stuff that happened the day. I mean, I played golf that morning and probably played the best round of golf I ever played in my life. But that's not the most memorable.
Right.
What is it for you?
Probably being able to the ceremony itself. There's so much, like you said. There's so much you can remember. And my pastor, growing up, married us along with your former pastor.
Right.
And so that was an amazing moment.
That's right. Dr. Ralph Wilkerson and Pastor Don Adkins.
And then we did a song that my father wrote called Lord, I Love You and I Worship You. You are worthy to be praised.
Right,
is what it's called.
Right.
And, when we still listen to that, several people have recorded that. And so I always can go back in my mind and picture it.
Think about that day. Yeah.
I'm standing there holding his hands, looking at him, and I'm singing, Lord, I Love You. And,
I remember us getting on our knees to do the prayer, and Christy Roberts, Oral Roberts' granddaughter, Richard Roberts' daughter, sang the Lord's Prayer. And I remember kneeling down there, because I was quite a bit larger than I am now.
You can see in the picture.
And can you roll it the other way so you can see you can see I'm a lot larger there. And I remember sitting there on the bench going, up. My knees are killing me.
It was a very
because it was the long
arrangement.
It was the 15-minute Rapper's Delight version of I just lost my audio again. But anyway, it was the 15-minute version of that song, and I remember sitting there thinking, "Oh my gosh, this is so long." For me, the most memorable moment of the day happened at the reception. Two things happened at the reception. I know you know what one of them's going to be. One of them is Jody's sister was giving the best, or the maid of honor toast, and she's dating my brother-in-law now, Brian, and she said, to Jody and Brian, I'm so happy for you today. And it's just it was hilarious. But then the dancing during the reception part was awesome because, and your dad still gets mad at me when I make fun of him, but your dad's dancing at the reception was.
And you know what? It was memorable, right?
It was very memorable.
But your dad actually was
my dad,
rug too.
I agree. But I don't remember us standing there all kind of watching my dad, but we did stop to watch your dad. So
it was like Lord of the Dance or something.
I don't know what it was. It was it was something. But anyway, man, this is a big day for us. 21 years,
yes.
And it seems like it was yesterday. Sometimes I feel like we just got started. And so anyway, I just want to say I love you, and it's a happy anniversary to you. And
I love you too.
I look forward to many, many more. And then that brings us to the second part of this. It's a big special day. For many years, I worked at Rhema Bible Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma with my good buddy, Keith Neighbor. Now, we didn't know each other when we first started. Everybody told us that me and Keith wouldn't get along and that, you guys are going to hate each other. You're too much alike or whatever. And Keith and I started a career in 2001, and it went for 11 years solid. And I would have probably kept doing ministry with him. We had a great run together. Today is his birthday, and he's 70. So no, he's not 70. but happy birthday, buddy. I hope that you're having a good day wherever you are. But now here's the crazy thing about it, because there's I don't really, believe in astrological signs or anything, but we throw this word around a lot. It was cosmic working there together, because not only was it Keith's birthday and Jody and I's anniversary, but our department head, Craig Hagan, it was also his anniversary at the time. And then our administrative assistant, Mario, and his wife, now get this, his wife's name was Jody, or is Jody, and it was their anniversary that day as well. Now all that is cool and crazy, but Keith's wife is also named Jody. So it was Keith, Mario, and Brent, and the three Jodys. And June 8th always meant something special to us. And then, like I said, Craig was our department head, and it was his anniversary at the time too. So anyway, it's a really special day to all of us that worked in the Access Youth Office at the time. So happy anniversary, babe. Happy birthday, Keith, and happy anniversary to Mario and Jody. Love you guys so much and appreciate you for our relationship. And so, all right, so as we are ready to get into the program today, I've got a super awesome guest for you today. Dr. Lauretta Justin is an optometrist here in the Orlando area. We had the pleasure of meeting them before we started the church because my father-in-law, Bob Harrison, came to town to speak. And they came and actually blessed Bob with a pair of glasses, and just as an outreach to him. And then when they found out we were starting the church, they started coming to our church. And so Dr. Lauretta and her husband James started coming with their three kids, and they were just a blessing to us. We've made them leaders within the church, and they became elders, and have just been a real good grounding source for Jody and I, somebody that we could be real with, somebody that we could talk about real things with. And I remember about this time last year, James called me and said, listen, we're getting ready to launch something that's going to be taking a whole lot of our time. And let me just tell you what it was. For years, Lauretta has been obviously an eye doctor, an optometrist in the Orlando area, and is very successful. Well, she felt a need that she needed to help some of these younger female doctors that are coming out of school to really get their practice going. And so with the experiences that she had with her husband, James, who is also a life coach and a motivational speaker in his own right, he's also got, he's the business manager of the office. They really had a heart to help younger girls that are starting out in the optometry business to really get on their feet quicker, because they teach you the medical side and the eye and the vision side, but they don't teach you the business side. And Lauretta really had a heart to start this. And so she started Optometry Divas. And I think it's a really clever name and a really cool name. And she's now reaching out to ladies all over the country who are really getting started in the field and those who are already established that are looking to better themselves. She's an author, she's a singer, she's a life coach, she's an eye doctor, and she can lift buildings with one arm. No, I don't know about that part. But please welcome to the program, Dr. Lauretta Justin. Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing fantastic. Wow, that was an awesome introduction.
Well, you paid me a lot of money for it. No, I'm just kidding. It's so, man, I'm really so glad to have you with me today. I mean, we've been friends for a while, and we love you and James so much, and we're so proud of what you're doing. Man, first of all, how have you been holding up through COVID and the close down and everything?
You know, with the COVID-19, this is something that was unprecedented. No one could have prepared for anything like that. And I think just like everybody else, we took it one day at a time. At first, it was surreal as to what is really going on. And then we went through a process of, oh my God, what's going to happen? A lot of uncertainty, a lot of fears. But then, you know, something else began to happen. We began to realize that our steps are ordered by God. We begin to realize that every experience is an opportunity for change and for growth. So for me, what really happened, it stopped me from doing everything that I was doing. And that being forced to stop and having to sit back and look back and think through really gave me a bigger perspective, a better understanding, helped me to realize where did I really need to be? Where was I really being led to do? So as difficult as it really was a life-changing experience for me.
Now, what kind of things, now, if you don't, you don't have to give us full transparency or anything, but what kind of stuff did you end up laying aside? You don't have to go specifics, but generally speaking, what were the things that you ended up laying down?
So with one of the things that we talk about in Optometry Divas is the time that we spent as women. A lot of times we feel overwhelmed by the different tasks that we have to do. And going through this process helped me realize how valuable my time is and how limited it is. And if I was going to spend it in something, I really need to make sure that this is where I need to be at this particular moment in time. So what that allowed me to do is in my office to really transition more and allow my doctor partner to become more of the primary doctor in the office. And that way I can focus more on Optometry Divas, for example, and being that leader and encourager, that coach to help more women. So I felt like this is what I was being called to do right now, and everything else was somewhat of an excuse to spend less time in it. So this helped me really to set all those things aside and focus.
All right, so let's get into Optometry Divas. That I know that when James was kind of telling me about it over the phone, it really became something of a heart for what sounded like to me young girls graduating from college that are ready to be eye doctors, but are not ready to be eye doctors as far as the business side goes. And it really sounded to me like you guys just had this big heart to help these girls really get on their feet.
Yeah, Optometry Divas is, is built around the concept of empower, connect, and promote the success of women ODs. It really started from my own personal experience of feeling overwhelmed, tired, exhausted, and just doing so much every day. And I felt like it was difficult for me to find someone who could relate to me in my particular setting and what I was doing. And I felt that that was lacking in my profession. Talking to other women who were in the same profession, who did the same things, who saw 20 patients today and was overwhelmed by the patient situation and overwhelmed by their practice situation, overwhelmed by their children's situation, and on and on and on. And being able to share that in a safe and fun environment. And that's where the concept came. And that's what Optometry Divas provide primarily, is the ability for women like me who either are in the industry or are coming into industry to empower each other, to connect with each other, and to promote each other's success. So those of us who are already in the industry, once we do that, then we can mentor the new grads who are coming out and let them know, here's what you need to do. Here's how you need to set this schedule up if you're going to have children and things like that. Here's a good list of nannies that you can find. So building that network, I believe is helping so many ODs. And what I'm hoping is that my experience of being overwhelmed, stressed out, and isolated, that no one else will ever have to feel that.
I know my mom and dad are business people as well, and my mom says it to me all the time. I don't know how Lauretta does what she does, and so to hear that, you're trying to help people avoid the same traps that you've fallen into is a great thing to hear. I don't want to just brag on you too much, because I know that you're humble and you don't want to take on it, but you guys, if you knew everything that's up against Lauretta, and these are not negative things, they're just things that she has to juggle. She has 3 kids. 2 of them are on the autism spectrum. Her husband has a vision problem, which kind of led her to be an eye doctor to begin with. So she plus she runs this business. These are all things that a juggling artist would have problems juggling, and she's doing it. But then to go and to take it on to mentor these girls to do this is incredible. It is an absolutely incredible thing. So if we were going to generalize something to say that they're going to they're just something that is a core value, if you will, that you're passing on to these ladies, what would be one thing it is?
So our very first word is to empower. And that would be the very thing that I would like to pass on to them. And the word empower to me is to help you step into your power. And if there's anything I could do with the ladies who are part of this group, is to help them discover and step into their power. Because see, once you discover and step into that power, then the rest you can handle. The rest you can figure it out. You can get help, you can get support. But first you must discover and you must step into that power that's inside of you. So that would be the one thing that we're really pushing.
Man. And so I know for you guys, our believers, and so the power that you're referring to when it comes to talking to us, I know that power that you're talking about. But when you're empowering these ladies, not everybody is a believer, and I know that everybody, it would be great if we could just stand up and just preach to everybody. How are you empowering them in a way that's accepting, for wherever they are in their life? What things are you saying?
So when we talk about the ladies, we talk about things that are important to all human beings, regardless of what I would say, what religion you are, what faith you have.
Yeah.
We all have things that are core values and core beliefs. Now, I am a Christian, and that is my personal core value, and that's the one I want to share with the world. But ultimately, we all have core values and core beliefs. And what I empower people is to look into your life and see, are you living according to the core values that you say you have? If you're not living according to those core values, then there's going to be a disconnect in your life, and you're not going to discover, and you're not going to be able to step into the power that is inside of you. So I start with, what are your core values? What are the things that you believe? What are the core beliefs that you have that is part of who you are? And are you living according to that?
That's so awesome. I know that when we were writing the vision and the mission statement for the church, James and Lauretta were very instrumental in helping us come up with that and to develop that and put that down. Let's just talk about that process for a second, about developing a mission statement or a core value. Say, I think the words you guys used was an MVP statement, a mission, vision, and a purpose statement. It is so powerful to harness that. And people out there in their lives, especially after COVID-19, and they've had to really reevaluate some things, as they go to start doing this, what's the first big step for them in developing that mission, vision, purpose statement for their life?
The first thing to realize is that the life that you have is a gift given to you by God. It is an absolute gift. And every day you get to open a new version, a new chapter of this gift. And the purpose is for you to use this gift the way you were created to do. So that is the first thing. You must understand the time you have is precious and it's a gift. Now, what are you going to do with that time that you have? So you need to have a mission, right? Mission, the way we explain it in the MVP concept, the mission is what is it that you're going to do? Then you need to have a vision that tells you where is this going to lead to? Where is that going to take you? You need to have a purpose statement to know why are you doing this? Why are you putting all this together? And then you need to understand your core values and your core beliefs. So these are things you have to think about, whether you want to start a business, whether you want to go to a particular profession, you want to start school, you want to get married, whatever it is you want to use this gift, this life that you've been given, whatever you want to use it for, you need to understand why that is. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And how you're going to get there? A lot of people can help you with that, but what they can't really help you with is determine the why, determine the where you want to reach, determine the what you want to do, and then looking at your values.
And so who determines the why and how do they do that?
So the why comes from what you were created to do. So for me, as a believer in God, I believe God put in me a gift to empower people. It's just my nature. I've been doing it ever since I could remember. And because that's how he built me, that's how he created me, I feel that whatever I do needs to have that purpose behind it to empower people. So you will find that word empower, and pretty much in my office, you'll find it in Millennium Eye Center. Our mission is to mentor, empower, and care. At Optometry Divas, our mission is to empower, connect, and promote. So that connection, you will see it there, because I believe that's who God made me, and that's the gifting he put inside of me.
I see it right behind your head there too, up on the wall behind you. So.
Yeah.
All right. Before we let you go, listen, I don't want to just throw this in like as an extra, because I could talk to you about the mentoring side of what you and James do all day long, and it's always been something that really speaks to me, and I love to hear that and love to see you guys doing that with other people. But with everything going on in the country right now, I really want to give you some space here to really just give us, your take on what's happening right now. We've kind of moved on past COVID, even though there's still a lot of restrictions and stuff happening, but it's almost like this tragic, horrible situation that happened to George Floyd came along, and even before that, what happened to Breonna, I can't think of her last name right now, but the young lady in Louisville, and then before that, Mr. Arbery, who it's really such a tragic thing that's happened, and we wanted to give you some space to kind of speak to that.
Yeah, the problem we have, if we want to speak to this particular situation in particular, is that there's a problem of racial inequality in the United States of America. And it's a systemic problem in how people are treated. For example, when we first moved into my neighborhood, my husband would go for a run. And every time he'd go for a run, he would wear his hoodie. And after the second time he wore it, I told him, don't wear that hoodie, and don't cover your head like that, because all it takes is for somebody to make a phone call and say there's a black guy running around the neighborhood and I don't feel safe. And the problem with that is that he doesn't get an opportunity to even defend himself most of the time.
Yeah.
What usually happens is that an officer would come around and just say, are you lost? Doesn't even consider that he lives here, that he's a father, that he's a successful businessman. As soon as he's seen, he is automatically judged as a black man, potentially dangerous. And that, in essence, is what the issue is. And that has always been the issue. And I think what's happening right now is this situation is a reminder that this issue still exists. And it's giving people an opportunity to say, you know what, that's not right. This should not be. And I don't stand with that. There should be justice. There should be equality. And I think that's one good thing that's coming out of it, is that people are speaking the truth. We were doing a recording recently. I did a live podcast for my group in Optometry Divas, and we were talking about the power of words. And I gave him this quote that is actually a biblical quote, but I gave him this quote from Dr. Newberg, who's a neuroscientist at Thomas Jefferson University. He wrote a book that says, "Words can change your brain." And the quote that I like, it says, "A single word has the power to influence the expression of genes that regulate physical and emotional stress," which means what you speak, you become. So right now, I think it's so important that we speak out, because our words have power. And when we speak towards justice, we speak towards equality, and we start asking that there should be changes that will bring that about, I think it's a powerful thing.
I couldn't agree more. I know that for us in our relationship, we obviously, I know, because I hear some people say they just don't see color. And to me, it's yeah, they're black. Okay. So it's never been like an issue of anything that we should take into account. It was just, it's just, those are our friends, and you and James have brought so much into our lives. I know that when we came to your house and had dinner, that was the first time I ever had oxtail in my life. And it was a memory for me that enriched me as a person. And so I couldn't agree more. Race is something that we do see, and it is something that everybody has a race, but it shouldn't be the determining factor for things on any level at all.
It shouldn't. And I think, to just add to what you say, color does exist. And I think what people need to see is the disparity that it actually does exist. It is really real. And when you, for example, if you were running in your neighborhood, Brent, you would not have the same experience as James because you're a white man. And just being able to acknowledge that, you know what, that probably would have never happened to me, and that is wrong, I think is what we're all asking. For people to say, that is wrong. I may not know what it's like, because I don't know what it's like to be a man, for example. I don't know what it's like to be blind, like my husband is. So I don't know what it's like to be white, but I do know that there is a disparity in the system towards Black people. And I think a lot of Black people want white people to understand and just acknowledge that that is a fact. That is something that we face, and we want you to stand up and say it is wrong, and you don't stand with it.
And so, just for the record, it's wrong, and we do not stand with that. So there you go. Listen, Lauretta, we are so grateful that you had time to give us on the show today.
Thank you.
We love you and James so much, and just tell James his time's coming. He's going to be on the program as well. We love you guys so much. We're so appreciative to our friendship. If you want to reach out to Dr. Lauretta, here's the information on the screen right now: millenniumeyecenter.com, optometrydivas.com, and then on Facebook and Instagram at Dr. Lauretta Justin, on Twitter, Justin Lauretta, and then on YouTube. She does have a YouTube channel. It is My Freedom Living, and you can go there and check out all of their material and be involved in their movement of the Optometry Divas. And then if you're here in Orlando and you need a good eye doctor, you can't get any better than Dr. Lauretta and her partner, Dr. Love.
Dr. Love,
and if you watched on Friday, Dr. Love, we had Alexis Love on Friday, and that's her sister is Dr. Loretta's partner. So, man.
Yes, Dr. Angela Love Washington. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, listen, have a great rest of your day. Give our love to your kids and to James and everybody in the staff in the office, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, great job. All right, that's Dr. Lauretta Justin of the Millennium Eye Center and our friends, our personal friends here in Orlando. Reach out to them again. There's all the information on the screen. Coming up on Monday, I've got another great guest that's going to be with me. I'm going to have Pastor Tony Dunn, Bishop Tony Dunn, out of Corona, California, is going to be with me on Wednesday, and we're going to continue talking about the state of our country and how to improve. It's not just to point out the problem, but we're trying to figure out how do we improve it, how do we make it better, not just to forget about it and move on. We want to make real change in this country. And we appreciate all of our guests that are going to be coming on to help us talk about that. Coming up on Friday, I've got Pastor Rob Yannick of from Columbus, Ohio. He's going to be joining me. Then next week, Man, we're working on a big week for you next week. We've got Bishop Donald Hilliard in the pipeline. Is going to be working on getting him in next week. So, and a really, really good friend of mine. He's the worship pastor at Rhema Bible Church, Dan Taylor. So you'll want to keep tuning in. We got great shows that are in the pipeline for you. My thanks again to Dr. Lauretta Justin of the Millennium Eye Center and Optometry Diva. Until Wednesday, we'll see you then. Get outside and break the cabin fever. Have a great day, everybody.